I don't, a long time. We've alternated longer than I've been a member, I believe, which is over 20 years. It has alternated between being left up all the time and for a period of years after we had some vandalism problems, put up for the season and then taken back down for the rest of the year. So during my tenure on the board, we have had both of those scenarios for a period of time.
I think it was about, what, 3-4 years ago when Bud asked if we could leave it up full-time because he was having a problem getting it up and down, and I think storage. Was that what you remember? Because it wasn't up all the time. It was while I was on the board.
No, to the best of my recollection, when I first came up on the board, it was up full-time, and we had some vandalism problems with it, and the board elected to, after however many incidents of vandalism, put it up during the Easter season, then take it down and store it for the rest of the year, and eventually, as Pat related, we went back to leaving it up throughout the year, so as not to require the maintenance person, then Bud, to have to wrestle it in and out.
Yeah.
As for the rest of this stuff, my inclination would be to suggest to Manchester, if he's so disposed, that he can dig around in our records just like we'd allow any other member, subject to not disrupting Pat's normal course of business. I don't think it's appropriate to task Pat to dig up answers to all these questions. If the board's disposed, we can have Pat draft a letter with kind of an overview containing maybe the sort of the level of detail that I've described, give or take a little, and offering him the opportunity to research it in more depth should he choose to. I personally am not disposed to spend staff time to dig up answers to all these questions.
How long has Mr. Manchester been in the village?
I would hesitate to say exactly, maybe 15 years, and if I had to guess, would be
No,
probably.
he moved in after we did. We moved in '96, and I think he moved in 2 to 3 years after we did.
Okay.
So the cross was in
Oh, yes, it's
existence
been
prior
Oh,
to him?
it was in use many years before that.
So you don't drive around much?
I mean, it may, that may have fallen during the time period when we were cycling it up and down without digging back into the minutes. I certainly, my memory's not good enough to pin the dates. I know that happened, but I don't remember the exact dates.
Well, it was there in 1971 when we came to town.
Yeah, I mean,
It was
it's
used
not
well.
new.
I don't remember whether it was left up all the time. I think they took it down and stored it.
So anyhow, I mean, everyone, I don't know, the audience probably hadn't seen this, and I'm not going to read his 10 or 12 questions. Some of them would take a fair amount of research to answer.
It used to be, when I was on the Erna Nixon committee, or not Erna, the Deerhead, that cross used to be one solid cross, and somebody broke it. And so when I was on that committee, what we did is we spliced and diced into it so that it could be, rather than buy a whole new cross, we spliced and diced it, and that's how come it started going up and down. And it's been there since, I think, like 68, I'm trying to think.
Anyway, a
I think it's
long
about
time, and
16 when they
I
put
don't
it up.
feel any burning need to spend staff time researching it. If he's willing to come in here
I think he's just
and
started walking
research subject to Pat's availability to pull records for him, he's welcome to do so, same as any other member. But beyond that, I think maybe we owe him some kind of a letter so that he knows that we've received his letter and a response, and that would be my suggestion for direction to Pat to compose a letter of response if the board's in agreement.
Yes.
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 Okay, anything else on this subject then? All right, continuing with the agenda then.